Hey everybody, welcome to today's live stream where the topic for today is fun tech ideas for the holidays. I want to thank you all for being here. We'll get around to saying hello to you in a few minutes, but first I want to bring in all of my guests into the stream so that they can say hello to all of you, introduce themselves, and then we'll go from there. So let me bring them in now. Hey everybody, welcome. Hope you can hear me, hope you can see us. Say hello to everybody, go around the room, introduce yourselves. I know most of the viewers know you guys, but they might not know some of you, so it'll be a good opportunity to meet you and learn about your channel. So UnkyJoe, why don't you kick it off? We'll go right around the room.
Well, greetings, people of the internet. UnkyJoe here, UnkyJoe's Playhouse. Hello to everybody. I've been looking forward to this for a week. And I've met some new people here that I didn't know.
Jason?
I'm Jason from Jason's Lab. I know Willie and I know TVJAY and UnkyJoe. Jeremy, you're new to me, so I'll have to subscribe to your channel after.
Willie? Everybody
Hi,
knows
I'm Willie with Willie Howe Technology. Nice to see everybody here. And what a great looking group of folks we got here. I think the only person I didn't know is, and this is my short-term memory, the channel PE4 Doers. I did go over and subscribe before the stream. If you came over here because you saw one of my social tweets, make sure you subscribe to everybody that's here on the live stream. Making content sometimes is not as rewarding as folks out on the internet think it is, and everybody here, I guarantee you, puts their blood, sweat, and tears into their productions. So a like and a subscribe goes a long way.
Very cool. Thanks, Willie. TVJAY?
Hello, I'm TVJAY. I'm a broadcast engineer, and I do TV, radio, and some IT content on my channel. Just started YouTube about a year or so ago, or dedicated, I should say, fully involved in it. So my channel is pretty young compared to some of you guys on here, but I hope to grow it, so please help me out.
Cool. David?
Hi, my name is David Rivera. I run the channel PE for Doers, and we specialize in computer technology of any type, whether it's a separate PC, embedded PC, whatever has a computer in it, I cover it.
Cool. Thanks, David. Jeremy?
Hi, I'm Jeremy Leik. I have the channel Practical IT with Jeremy Leik, and we focus mostly on Linux and other Unix-like systems, although I do occasionally cover some Windows stuff.
Very cool. Yes, I learned a lot from you, Jeremy, as well as everybody else here. I'm super excited to have you guys all here together. I'm so glad when I sent this out last week that the response was overwhelmingly positive yes. So thank you all for being here. It's a great group, and I'm excited. So before we get to say hello to people in the chat, everyone, today, again, the theme is fun tech ideas. I thought we'd have some fun. If you have that special someone in your life or just a friend or family member and you don't know what to get them and they're kind of tech savvy, we have an eclectic group here, and we have an eclectic array of gifts to share with you, ranging from under $14 to a couple $100. So there's something in the price point for everybody. I think you'll find it interesting. So again, thank all of you guys for joining me on this. I think instead of just having my take on it and doing, hey, 10 or 15 of my favorite gifts, I thought it would be really cool to do the collaboration and get everybody's input on what they feel is a cool tech gift for the holidays. So again, thank you. And let's do a round and then we'll go over to the chat and start saying hello to people. We got about 21 people here, but let's get this thing rolling. Who wants to go first? UnkyJoe. We voted on you.
I've been outvoted again. Okay, well, if you know anything about UnkyJoe, he is the king of cheap. So to get me to part with $1 is something that takes special talent. And one of the things that parted my dollars from me are the the Amazon Echo Dots. So that's going to be my first choice. Now, I'm not one who's much into home automation and that kind of thing. I just, I don't have trouble going around turning on and off light switches. But the kicker for me is that you don't realize how powerful the device is till you get it in your hands. Now, I got this in my hands about a year ago. I had a friend of mine on my Discord channel send me the Echo Dot, and I'm going to show you the one he sent me. And let me tell you, now that I have it, yeah, and I know they're listening all the time, but, so is this thing, right? So this is the one I have. It's here in my office, and I have them all over my house now. And the beauty of this thing is it's intelligent. It learns as you go. We sit there constantly while we're watching TV and ask it trivia questions about shows we're watching. It tells me the weather. You can set up announcements. The greatest thing about this device, if you're an old guy like me and you're inclined to use the bathroom quite a bit, as some of us older guys do, and you happen to run out of a certain thing in the bathroom, you can tell the Echo to make an announcement on all the devices, and it will tell your spouse, hey, I'm out of something in the restroom. Would you please bring it to me? That in itself is great. And if you fall, if you're an older person, sometimes you stumble and fall, you can call for help to get you up off the floor. So if you've got an elderly person in your home or you've got an older family member, this would make a great gift, because it really is. It's kind of like having one of those little things around your neck, if there was an emergency. And what you can do with these devices is it's limited by your imagination, really. So that's my first pick. There are some that are cheaper than this one. I like this one because it's got a clock built into it. And I've just gotten so used to using these things now that I don't think at this point I could do without it. But again, like I said, it is listening to you at all the time. It is connected to the internet. So if you're adverse to those kind of things, don't get one. But I think it would make a great gift for like an older family member. So that's my first
start committing your crimes outside of your four walls.
Right. Yeah. Just don't talk about things you don't want the internet to know about. And then, or throw a bag over it or here's a thought, unplug it,
Cool. Thanks, UnkyJoe.
You're welcome.
Hey, Unky, doesn't it have a little slider privacy thing on it? I know the Google ones do, right?
Yeah, but do you trust it? That's the question,
It's probably just a piece of plastic.
Right. It's just,
how many of those
unplug it? So
my wife did that to a competitor.
Very easy to pair with your wireless. It was dead simple.
How many you got laying around the house?
We have 3 now.
3 of them.
Yeah, I have one Google that somebody sent me. I prefer the Amazon devices. They're just a little more, because we have an Amazon account, so it's all integrated. I've got music on there and all that good stuff. Yeah, it works really well.
Does anyone else have it?
I'm sorry, say again.
Go ahead, Willie. I'm sorry.
Can you set the clock to 24-hour or 12-hour display?
Yeah. Yes, you can. And you can change the voice from male to female. You can change the voice it responds to. And now you can do a custom command for it to respond to. Some of them I have set for computer. Some are Alexa, she who shall not be named. I just didn't want to say it too loud, so and trigger it. And it's funny because you get online with other people who have them, and you find out real quick who has the same command, voice you do. So, yeah, we're always punking one another, turn one another's lights on and off. So it makes for fun time. But yeah, I don't regret it, and I'm glad I got it.
Cool. Jason, you want to go? What you got for us, Jay?
Sure, I'll go. I'm going to talk about the True Cable cutting tool. Now I just got to figure out how to get to my screen here. Present screen. We're going to go to that one. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, there we go. These guys sponsored me because I did a video on some products for them, and over probably about 6 months ago, I would say that this stripping tool has been the tool that I used a lot. It's one of the tools that I use so much in my bag because stripping wire with all the other tools that are out there on the market has been hard to do. So this is the first tool that I pull out of my bag when I cut all my cables, because it just one around, doesn't nick any of the cables, and it's perfect. So for $15, you can't even buy a good X-Acto knife to do that, or another kind of cable stripper, right? It does coax for like TVJAY. This would be great for you, or it does Cat 6, Cat 5, and other cables.
Yeah, I actually have that tool as well, and it's awesome, and it's also adjustable. So you could, if you have a different gauge wire, you could actually adjust it, but you got to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah, different
That's
kinds of
awesome.
Cat 6 and stuff like that. So if you, when you're first on the job, you just take a piece of scrap piece, try it on there to set it, and then for the whole day, it's just perfect the whole time. So,
yep, very cool.
I use that a lot.
Yeah,
Awesome.
tools are the key to any job being well done. I'll tell you that. Don't
I
be
fully
cheap
agree
like
with
I
that.
am, but don't scrimp on your tools. And that looks this looks like a
tool is
great tool.
$15, and I didn't really expect much out of it when I got it. I was like, okay, whatever, it's $15. But for the $15 US for you guys, hands down the best I've ever used.
Oh, that's right. You're in Canada. I forgot how much more expensive stuff
Sorry.
is than
Yeah,
Kazakhstan. So
it's double the price here. And you actually, when I got them to ship it to me, I actually had to get it shipped to a friend because they don't ship to Canada. So it was a bit of a nightmare for me to get. But yeah, I got it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Cool. Thank you. Mr. Willie Howe, you're up, buddy.
Hey, so if you've ever seen, I'm not quite as cheap as UnkyJoe, but I do use Ryobi power tools. They are, it's not like I'm a professional mechanic or anything like that. So I am going to share my screen, and let's see.
Let me find you.
Did it do it?
Nope.
Yeah, my web browser's having a stroke over here. The fans are kicking up on my PC. I've angered the StreamYard gods. Go ahead and come back to me, would you?
Okay, sure, no
if
problem.
anybody can help, we're taking donations for Willie to get a decent computer, because
And a camera.
every time he puts it to work, it seems to fail on him. Why that is. Do you smell toast, Willie?
Not yet. That's
not
a sure
yet.
sign of a stroke, though.
Right.
Oh, he
Anyway,
just dropped out.
yep.
Maybe his PC died.
Well, there's a gift
Here's what
idea.
browser
I
he was
think we
using.
should
There
all
you
get
go.
together, build Willie a PC and send it to him. What do you say, guys?
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Jay, why don't TVJAY, go ahead.
Alrighty, well, I will share. Hopefully, this works.
There it is.
So I saw this on YouTube. Oh, probably 2 years ago now, maybe. I think it was. It's a Raspberry Pi NAS kit to turn your Raspberry Pi into a NAS. And I know most people are probably going, well, Raspberry Pis shouldn't be NASs. Well, you can argue that all day long. But I actually had a couple old hard drives, small like laptop hard drives, and I wanted to see if it was possible. And I saw this on it was Nova Spirit Tech, I believe, his YouTube channel. So I bought it, and it works. It is actually pretty sweet. It allows you to take 2.5-inch hard drives, 4 of them, and add them to the NAS or the Raspberry Pi, and through software RAID, you can make it into a NAS or just, redundant storage for local whatever project you're working on your Raspberry Pi for. So I like it as a backup to my TrueNAS server. I actually do an rsync command, and I copy the data from TrueNAS over to this, and it's working. I would recommend you don't go with used hard drives, but minus that little issue, it's been working pretty good for me.
Very cool. Awesome.
Now,
Thank
my
you so
question
much.
is can you find a Raspberry Pi to put in this thing? That's the question.
Well, I bought mine 2 years ago, so
Ah.
I'm good, but I
Yeah.
haven't bought it recently.
Yeah, they've gone up in price a little bit. I hear they're supposed to have that fixed this within the year. They're supposed to have the supply back of Raspberry Pis, but I priced one the other day and I was like, no, thank you. For now, I do have one, but mine's a 3B. That's how old it is. But yeah, I saw that same thing on Nova Spirit Tech. It was very intriguing.
I actually just got a Raspberry Pi for a project I'm working on at a small church, and they were able to order off Amazon, and it came in. So I don't know if it was a 3B or a 4, but they ordered it. It came in.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Jay. That was an interesting gift. I've not seen that before. That was pretty cool. And you've said you've had it for a while, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty stable.
I've had it for at least a good, I would say, 18 months. And like I said, minus the used hard drives that I threw into it, it's been pretty solid.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Willie, you're back. Want to go again?
We can try it. Let's see
Let's
what
try
happens.
it again.
All right. So
I have faith.
real quick, when you all are presenting, are you dragging your gift window to your second monitor and then sharing your second monitor?
Yep, for sure.
All right. So that's what I did last time, and then you saw I disappeared from the stream. So let's see if we can make it happen.
You also have a Windows share option on there. You might try that if it crashes your computer again. So
Well, let's
Click
see.
present, and then you can click a window or a screen or a browser, I guess.
Well, I didn't get this far, right? So the share thing didn't come up. It started puking immediately. I was using Firefox, so I'm in Edge now. Don't tell anybody, but it's like Edge is actually my favorite new web browser.
I had issues with
Guilty.
sharing through Firefox as well, so I switched to Chrome and it worked.
Yeah.
I think we're there, Willie. There we
All
go.
right. So I have a sizable investment in Ryobi, however you want to pronounce it, and the 18-volt 1+ battery system. There's a couple hundred tools that you can use. I mean, I have everything from a weed sprayer to hot glue gun to a heat gun to screwdrivers, impact wrenches, you name it. And so I actually, after this live stream, am going to be snaking one of my basement drains. It's the one that my water softener drains into. It's by our furnace. And so I just want to make sure before the winter really sets in that I've got good flow through there. But this thing will use your, this is a power inverter generator. You put your Ryobi 18-volt battery in here, and then it gives you a standard plug and a couple of USB plugs. So you got a 120 and then a couple 2.4 amp 5-volt USBs. And if you go out and you read some of the reviews, people are able to charge cell phones several times, laptops a couple times, just using that 18-volt battery. And so for the price, and actually, if you probably go to like Direct Tools outlet, if you're looking for this, you can probably find a scratch and dent model for 20-30% off.
Very cool.
how
That's
those
awesome.
how long do those Ryobi batteries last? Have you had good luck with their batteries? Because that's usually been the bane of my existence with these tools, is the batteries are they don't last any length of time. This is intriguing because it's almost like an inverter.
Right. And I've only ever had one battery go bad. It's a 2 amp hour battery. And it was one that came with the tool as a package. And I'd probably charged it, I don't know, half a dozen times, but I was running it in a sander and a drill. So it was getting extremely hot and it just won't charge at all. Other than that, I probably got about 15 batteries 2 amp hour up to the 6. I don't have any of the 9s. And I haven't had any issues yet. I've thought about trying the knockoff batteries on Amazon, but here's my kind of my dirty little secret about this is anytime Home Depot has a tool on sale that I need, I make sure that I buy the kit that comes with the battery. So I haven't had to actually like go buy any new batteries yet. And then I've got like 5 chargers between the house and the garage. And so there's always a battery that's been charged somewhere. But I have had very good luck. And I do know that some people don't have as good a luck as I've had. Because I'm almost not as cheap as UnkyJoe, I try to take extreme care of my tools. Like batteries get charged, they come off the charger. Batteries stay inside. They don't get subjected to huge temperature swings unless I'm outside using them, you know? So I try to treat my tools like part of the family because, you know, they make jobs easy and earn you money.
Yep.
How big is that unit, Willie?
It's slightly bigger than the battery. So you can see that's probably a 4-hour battery right there that they've got. Yeah, 4 amp hour battery right there. So
Yeah, and it'll put out 150 watts. It's a lot of power.
yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. That's something to go in my tech bag.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this thing. I may just pick one up. I may put it on my Christmas wish list for the spouse to get me. It's looks very interesting.
It'd be good for on-sites when you have to test Wi-Fi stuff outside and do outdoor access point stuff.
100%. 100%. In fact, I'm quoting a bunch of retirement centers in Wisconsin and Minnesota. And this is one of the tools that'll end up going with me because they don't want people guessing. They actually want to pay somebody to come on site, do a site survey, rip out all the Aruba gear that's there and replace it with another vendor. So those are probably going to be weekend trips for me. So, but this is definitely one of the tools that'll be in the bag.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Willie, just stop the share. There we go. Thank you. Let's see. Jeremy, what you got for us?
All right, let me share my window and
Tony, should you have a drum roll from now on before any of us share our windows, just in case?
Well, I gotta get one of those. What are the Rode? What's the one with, you have it, Willie, with the sound effects?
Oh yeah, I've got the what
The
is it?
Rodecaster.
Yeah, the Procaster, yeah, or Rodecaster.
Procaster, whatever. Rodecaster, Procaster. I
just
can't keep
use
their
my
names
stream-
straight.
I just use my Stream Deck and set up sound effects. It works great.
Jeremy, I'm not. There we go. Just took a while to come up.
okay.
Here we go.
So I went cheap for my first one. This is actually something that's new to me, but is very intriguing. It's rechargeable batteries that have a USB-C port on them, and I found these, and it's like, well, that would be very handy to have in the computer bag and have with me. And they've got different sizes. They're not limited to AAAs, but that's the link I chose to use for this. So they've got AA's and C's and D's and things as well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's different. I've not seen anything like that. Anybody else? Have you seen this before? Anyone?
No.
So the USB-C port's built into the battery itself.
Yeah,
Built into the battery itself.
I've seen them.
How long have you been using those?
I haven't ordered any yet, but they've
okay.
I've looked at a few review sites and they've got good reviews and something that intrigued me very much.
I guess it comes with that splitter cable too, huh?
Yep, comes with the cable.
I noticed that they only have 450 milliamps compared to a standard one at 2800 milliamps. So I wonder how long they're going to last, though.
That's a good question.
Well, I think you should get like 3 of them and do a review. I'm just saying.
Well, they'll last 400, and they'll give you 450 milliamps for an hour. That's what the MAH stands for. So, if you're drawing the full current, the problem I've always had with rechargeable batteries is they wear out after like a year. But these are lithium ion. The other ones I'm talking about are like the ones you get off Amazon. So they're different. These are different chemistry. These may actually last.
It says 1,200 cycles, so you in theory you can charge them 1,200 times, right?
That's what, 5 years, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah, and I could see these being good for like a wall clock type of situation.
Or the remotes, the
Yep.
remotes that
Remote
always
controls.
the batteries go out in.
So
Would you use these in like a video doorbell that takes batteries? Would you try that?
I haven't tried it yet, but that would be very interesting. Yes.
What do you use for a charger?
Any USB charger, I would imagine, would work, right? Since they have
Okay.
the port built in.
Yep.
Hmm.
Very cool.
So
Wow.
I would love to see a
That's a
review.
good-
I'm just gonna say that. I vote for a review from you.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I second that.
okay, I don't have a problem ordering a set of those.
I suppose they don't do. I suppose they don't do 9-volt batteries though, right? Because you wouldn't be able to get that voltage out of there.
I haven't seen the 9 volts.
Right.
How about
From them.
D size? I've got a relative that needs D size batteries. We won't go into why, but do they make a D size? Shut up, Willie.
Let's see.
Forget I asked that question.
Leave it to
Next,
Unky to say
move
that.
Right.
Anyway, while you're looking, Jeremy, David, what you got for us?
Sure, I'm going to go with my cheapest one first. Let me see if I can switch cameras here so you can take a look at it. Settings and camera. And I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. I just got this about a week ago, and it is a NVMe holder. I already have the screw removed here. The reason I got this was I've been doing a lot of copying from different computers and upgrading my various NVMe from 500 gig to a terabyte or more. And this thing that I originally reviewed, this one from Ugreen, it worked, but when you tried to do a massive amount of copying to it, at some point it would overheat and would actually stop transferring. Because this one does not have any sort of heat sink in it, right? So I got this one as a replacement, and I've already tried this, and it works extremely well. It has a special cooler case to it, so you put this on top of the NVMe drive. It comes with an actual heat transfer pad that goes on the top lid with it. And it comes with a nice cable that is USB-C. They give you an adapter for USB-C to USB-A.
Nice.
And it costs about $20. These are the little things to hold it in there. You don't need a screwdriver to put that in. You can just turn that in there. But it keeps it cool. I actually did a comparison of the temperature on that. And this one is about 1/3 the temperature that this other thing gets to. And I never had that happen a lot, but it has happened where I'm transferring an entire terabyte and it gets to about 700 gig and the thing just, dies on me, stops transferring, gets an error on the USB. So
Hey,
I thought
David.
this was a good one to get started with. And I'll be doing a review of this probably that'll show some specs on it in terms of temperature and transfer rate and things like that.
Hey, David, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So I've been out of the PC build side of things for a while, and I rely on people like you to educate me about these kinds of things. Now I know that an NVMe is super fast, right? Like, what's the transfer speeds for an NVMe?
Well, it depends on the port you plug it into.
And
So
the
if you go into an M.2 right on the motherboard,
Oh, the motherboard. Oh, well, it depends on the brand. Samsung
drive,
is some
like
of
a
the fastest
Samsung
ones.
Evo, yeah.
You get about 3,800.
So
those.
what's the cap doing it through USB-C then?
USB-C? It was 5 gig generally, unless you hook it up to a higher port than that, which I didn't have to test with it.
Thunderbolt will do up to 10 gigs. So.
Yeah, it will be up to 10. I don't have a Thunderbolt right now, but I will in the future. So maybe I could retest it at that point. But right now, 5 gig is the fastest it goes, which is pretty good. That's about half the speed of a maximum transfer of the last drive I tested with this.
That's awesome. So can you put that into like time perspective? So if you've got a machine that's decent, not like my one that just puked here. But if you've got one that's decent, and you're transferring like a 1 gig file, what's that transfer time look like?
10
1
seconds?
gig is very quick.
10
If you're
seconds?
talking about 1 terabyte, then we're talking about 20 minutes.
Okay, so a hell of a lot faster than standard USB.
Yes. Yeah. If you go into the USB 3.2, which is by default, most of the new modern PCs will have when you do a USB-C.
Gotcha. Interesting. I might have to check that out.
The other thing that I like about this is, in general, when I'm not using this to transfer, I'm going to keep one of my spare 1 terabyte drives in there, because I've upgraded a lot of mine to 2 terabyte now. I'm going to keep the 1 terabyte in there so that if I ever have to like transfer large files or do a backup of something sensitive, then I would have that available to me. A very high capacity USB that I could then put into a computer if I wanted to directly, by just taking the M2 out of this and putting it into one of the M2 slots that's on a regular PC, which most people, they don't use the 2 or 3 M2 slots that they get these days.
I will say we just bought something similar to that. Almost looks similar, but different name. And we bought it because we wanted to image some PCs that are mission critical. So downtime is important. So I wanted to get the fastest transfer possible. So I bought a couple of those so we could image them, get the machine back up and running, and then store the images somewhere else. But I wanted to at least get it off the machine quickly.
I did look at some of those imagers that you could do like 4 or 5 at one time, but they have no cooling whatsoever. I can't imagine those things, unless you put them inside the icebox when you do it, I can't imagine those things staying cool enough to let you transfer a large amount.
Yeah, only get the ones with the heat sinks, guys, because then you can get rid of the heat off the drives. They slow right down. It says right on their website, if they get to a certain degree, you'll see that
it slows right down. You can see it ramp. I did a curve on it.
Definitely does.
The minute it gets hot, it starts slowing down. And so then it gets an error when it gets too low, which has happened to me more than once.
Slow down
with
too
the
when
other
they get
one.
too hot.
Yeah.
I just had a quick tip for their day. Check your CPU coolers, because I found a CPU heatsink with all 7 screws were missing. It was in a laptop.
Wow.
The user was complaining it was slow, and I opened it up and I said, well, it can't be that slow. And I opened it up and all 7 screws on this heatsink were missing.
Whoops.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoops.
That one was built on a Friday.
hey, on NVMEs, it makes a difference on the motherboard what slot you have the
Absolutely,
NVMe
yeah.
drive in.
Especially the newer
Because
ones.
if you start sharing PCI Express lanes with your video card, that's not a good thing.
Yes.
You want the slot to be the closest to the CPU.
Right.
That actually happened to me. I was
Me too.
I was adding a second NVMe into the second NVMe slot on the motherboard of my replacement daily driver PC, and it only saw half of its size. It didn't see the full amount. And the when I looked at it and troubleshot it, I realized that I had a hard drive that I had put using that same SATA connector that conflicted with that.
Yeah, I was
So
getting half the speed I should have been getting. And a friend of mine on Discord, I was like, why is my computer running so damn slow? He's like, well, you got it in the wrong slot. And there was a utility he had me run that showed me that it was only running it at the slower speed. So otherwise I never would have known.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that.
No
Cool.
problem.
All right. So my first gift is, let me just switch over. My first gift is the Anker PowerPort 10 USB charger. It's got the 10 USB charging ports. I currently have this set up in a situation in the studio here where I built a charging station for all of my various batteries. The thing I like about this unit is not only does it have an on-off switch, but it also has the overheat protection, overcurrent protection, and overload protection. It's a great little unit at $43. Now, it does say here that is for iPhone 6 Plus, but and all these devices here, older devices, but it does actually pretty much charge anything that's USB based. Like I said, in my studio here, I'm using it as a charging station for all of my batteries, so I know where all of my batteries are at any given time. But another use case, I have one out in a small boutique where the owner wanted to offer a charging station for the customers as they're in their waiting room. So this is a great solution for doing something like that. And again, it's a relatively inexpensive, cost-effective solution. So that's
I think if you made it that with Willie Howe's tool, going camping and stuff like that, you could be the hero of charging everybody's phones when you're camping.
There you go. Let me get out of full screen. There we go. So that's my my first gift. So that was our first round. I think we should go over to the comments because I don't know that I'm going to be able to catch up, but I'm just going to start popping them up on the screen quickly so we can just start saying hello to folks. So Keith Bennett is here from the Life's Journey Productions channel. And remind me, guys, before we sign off, I want to put all of your channels in the chat as well to share. They'll also be in the show notes, along with all of the links to all the products we're showing today, as well as any creators that are attending in the chat. Just remind me to get their channel posted in the chat before we go off the air. So Keith, thank you for being here. Albert says hi. Brian Ferber, Brian, thank you for joining. Says hello. David Grishko, hello. A lot of familiar names. Alonzo Smith, hello, hello. We got Sakura, one of UnkyJoe's regular.
Troublemaker.
Thank you for joining. Gareth Haynes, thank you for joining. Catherine is a regular on Jeremy's and David's channel. Catherine, thank you for joining. Yes, Keith, thank you very much. Take a moment and hit the like button for all of us. It's so cool that we could all come together and do this. I appreciate everybody giving their time and all of you as well for being here in the chat. Let's see. I like the T568B network standard in the logo of Willie Howe. There you go, Willie.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. We worked pretty diligently on that after we got our first cease and desist and takedown letter.
Right. I was going to say that was a bit of a battle. He earned it, folks.
Hey, Freddie from Caracas. Thank you for joining. Freddie's a regular in Keith Bennett's live stream every Tuesday night. That reminds me, let me mention it while I'm thinking about it. Jeremy goes live every Sunday morning, correct, Jeremy? At around 11 o'clock?
That's correct.
TVJAY tries to go live every Monday, especially Joe doesn't let him not go live. So, no, but he tries to go live every Monday night. You doing a live tomorrow, Jay? Is that you said earlier you might be?
I'm planning on doing one tomorrow, Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know the topic yet, so you'll be surprised.
Willie goes live pretty much every Saturday, give or take, right, Will? And UnkyJoe follows him right after that.
Saturdays at 10.
David, you go every other week, or have you?
I used to go
adjusted
every
your-
Sunday night, yeah, but
Okay.
I may change that to Friday night or Saturday night once I start up again. I've been on a hiatus for a while.
Okay. And Jason, are you doing lives at this point? I know you did one or two.
I'm going to try to keep doing more now that it gets dark out here quicker and where I am. So I'm going to be doing some more of that.
Very cool. And I try to go once a month. So I wish I could commit like the rest of these guys, but once a month for me seems to be working. So anyway, also congratulations to Jeremy for hitting 4,000 recently. I think within the last week, 4,000 subs. David for hitting 6,000 subs. Congratulations. Willie, I know you're approaching the 80K mark.
Yeah,
So
we're
hopefully,
working on it.
yeah, we're getting there.
And
Jay,
David now has 6,00001 subscribers, by the way.
there you go. Jason and Jay, you're both, we got to get you guys to that 1K mark. You guys are both very, very close. And
Yes, we
Joe,
do.
you are approaching the 11K mark like any
Like
day
a
now.
slow rocket ship. Yeah.
So congratulations to all of you guys. So very cool.
Hey, am I the only one on here that noticed, though, that after you do a live stream, you lose subscribers for a little while?
Yeah.
I
You get
noticed
some
that.
and then they go away, and then they get some and then they go away. It's really slow.
Yeah.
Do you notice one night I was telling this to Jason called me yesterday. I remember one Saturday night I went to bed, I had X amount of subscribers. and I woke up Sunday morning and I had 30 or 25 or 30 less. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? And then like within a day, 24 to 48 hours, it's like, boom, 50 or 60. Like
It's
all
really
this one shot.
discouraging, isn't it?
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't know,
that
is something
YouTube is
wrong with my
holding the
channel?
back.
What did I do?
I don't even look at the numbers anymore, to be honest with you.
With mine,
that happened to me in June. I lost like 200 subscribers. I don't know how or why. I messaged YouTube, hey, what happened? But I never heard back. So I quit looking at the numbers.
Because you're shitting on a bucket.
Probably.
Willie just nailed it.
No, I
Anyway.
noticed that somebody subscribes that doesn't have their own channel. They show up for like a few hours and then they disappear for a couple of days. And then YouTube puts it back. They must be doing a check on them or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, that does make sense.
All right, let's keep going. Michael Berg, hello. Thanks for joining us. Keith McLaughlin from Nebraska. Thank you for joining.
Hey, my hometown is Grand Island, Nebraska. Well, actually San Antonio, but that's where I was raised. It's Grand Island, Nebraska.
Very cool. Sakura says Ubuntu mate rules as well.
You shut
Welcome
your
to-
filthy mouth, Sakura.
Taro Cochran, hello. Thanks for joining. We got the Last Dragon in the house. And now I guess now we're getting some comments going back to all the gifts. So Gareth is saying he loves the home ecosystem with Alexa, Google Home Assistant, with Home Assistant.
You should ask
Again.
Gareth who set that up for him.
Aha. Would it be somebody in this chat? In this
Somebody very
live-
close. Very, very close.
Sakura, I have a hockey puck for my alarm clock. I hate to admit it, but we have one too. And it took me a long time to actually accept using it, but it doesn't come in kind of cool when you just want to listen to some music. And except
My
when she keeps-
spouse whispers around ours because, you know.
and yeah, except when she keeps telling you got to subscribe to Amazon Music for that particular one song that you want. And
My spouse
But-
didn't want the thing in the bedroom, but now that I installed the smart switches on either side of our bed because we got light switches for above us, now she just tells, hey, Google, turn off this light. Hey,
Yeah.
Google, turn off that light. She loves
Bedside
it.
lamp off. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how quickly it gets used by people who claim to not want it.
That's right.
I'm just going to pop some up on the screen just to acknowledge so we can get rolling into round two. 8 echoes.
If you go back and look, I don't know if you all remember, I did a video where I was actually capturing packets live while we messed with an Amazon Echo to see how much data it was sending back to the mothership. And apparently there's some decorum that says when you create videos about that product that you're supposed to, not yell, "Hey, Alexa." And so this whole video, I'm saying that, and I got go look at the comments. People were like, I got more negative comments. People are like, Alexa ordered toilet paper, so it was, it's something. So I'm going to revisit that, especially with some of the newer devices, but also my wife, she always teases that she doesn't want, Alexa to know when she murders me. So,
Right. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about the
think come in
security
handy.
and how we should be throwing them on their own dedicated networks too?
I'm actually, to be honest with you, those devices, I'm less worried about those devices being compromised and stealing things inside my network than I am just them actually listening. And if you think devices aren't listening, I have never used Paycom. So I'm in the middle of a project with the CFO at my day job, and we're evaluating payroll software. And my wife uses Paycom. But we were sitting there talking, and I told her, we're looking at Paylocity and we're looking at Paycom. And on my TikTok, I started getting Paycom ads,
Mhm.
right? So if you think that they're not listening, they definitely are listening.
And that was even before we
100%.
had the Amazon devices. Our phones were, we could talk about an issue or a subject around our phones, and within a day, we get targeted ads.
Not
So-
even. I'm still looking at buying my truck. Remember, Unky? I was telling you about buying
Oh,
the truck. And my wife's like pissed off because now she's surfing Facebook and it's all about.
And you and I
Ford
talking
trucks.
about, I got a ton of ads.
It wasn't
on
even
For
on my
weeks-
phone; it was on her
Yeah.
phone.
For weeks, I got ads about that truck.
Hey guys, while I'm popping the comments up on the screen, anyone want to talk about anything currently that they're working on, like a project?
Solar.
I can go.
Okay.
Like I sent UnkyJoe the photos of what I'm working at home. We got a big HA cluster for one of my big clients, and so we got 2 SR630s fully loaded, and then we have that new Synology dual node server that's in there for them. With I think they got 12 7 terabyte SAS 12 gig drives in it. It's a big.
Are you talking about the UC3200?
Yeah, the dual node one. It's a really nice box. It took us about 8 months to get it. Same with the Lenovo's. We ordered them back in January and just got them last week. So big setup.
Yeah, I don't know. Did anybody look at the Synology 2023 and beyond information that was out about what's coming in 2023?
Nope.
They are going with, instead of scale up, they're going with what they call scale out. And they're going to have a unit that can go to 12 petabytes. They've basically designed a unit where there's going to be 0 downtime. I'm sure that you're going to pay for it, but if you get a chance, go check it out. I can't even do it justice sitting here talking about it. They're definitely going to lock horns with Microsoft and some of the other players in the hybrid space next year.
Hey, Willie, I have a question for you. Since we're on the subject of Synology, there's a rumor going around now that in their future updates, they're going to require you, even on older units, like I've got a 1621, to use their specific certified hard drives. I think it's all bull.
So
but I've had some people in the comments section claim that this is what's going to happen.
So on the so you have to look at it from Synology's standpoint. So like if you were to go and you were to buy like it used to be Left Hand, HP owns them now, but if you name a top storage provider that is not in the same market segment as a Synology or a QNAP or whatever the open source one is that Tom loves. I'm just kidding. I know what it is. I know. I just had to
Okay.
But you know, any of those big providers, you have to buy their hard drives, right? You don't order rando hard drives from the crevices of the internet and slap them in. So what Synology is doing with the higher end units, it's not going to come to the DS. It's not going to, you know, those drives have to be certified. Now, I will tell you, I have a customer down in Kentucky, and I told him that he needed to buy Synology drives, and he didn't want to spend the money on the Synology drives. So he buys one of the new units that is looking specifically for Synology drives, and he buys a bunch of Western Digital drives. Guess what? It works, but you can't go in after you create the volume. You can't go in and do a whole lot, and the screen is red. It tells you the drives are unsupported, and Synology will likely not give you tech support for that, right?
I think that's an actual good idea, because if you think about it, people are relying on these good devices and they're putting any kind of drives in there, then they're expecting it to be reliable, but then they're like, oh no, it's a piece of garbage because it doesn't work well. But you used, like, you're degrading a product because you used. It's like going to Walmart buying Walmart tires on your Ferrari. Like, your car's not going to handle the same layer.
100%. It's the same thing. Look at anything, right? People will spend $5,000 on a handgun and they put $9 ammo in it, right? Yeah. Or they buy, you know, it just kills me. And I always talk about the dual-edged sword of these hardware and software providers that are in the same market segment as Ubiquiti and Cambium and Synology and Grandstream. You know, name one of these providers where the technology is accessible because it's low cost.
Can you say Apple?
Doesn't equal garbage. No, not Apple.
Apple? They've been doing it for years and people still buy their products, you know.
It's
so as long as you know going in, right?
But the thing is, you know, people want to complain about Ubiquiti, and I complained about it. Ubiquiti locking, you know, their cameras, all their functionality to protect, and that you couldn't run protect on your own hardware. Well, when you're a company like Ubiquiti and you are looking to market to the masses, and we all know their tech support doesn't exist, right? You have to make the products as easy to use as possible and create as little wiggle room for error as you can. And that's what they're doing by locking you into that ecosystem, right? So it's a different way of thinking about it. And there's 100 manufacturers out there that aren't doing it, you know, and that's the thing that I don't get is why people continue. You know, I had my piece and I moved on, and we only use protect when a customer's already got it, right? It's nothing that I ever quote. Synology, for example, next year they're coming out with their own security cameras, and they're going to be on VIF compatible. But when you use them with surveillance station, the entire video stream is going to be encrypted. They're going to push AI to the edge, right? So the cameras themselves are going to be able to do the object detection, missing objects, addition of objects, tell the difference between a human being and an automobile, but you're not going to get the full functionality unless you use it with the Synology and VR. For me, if I'm a company and I'm putting it out and I know I have limited support resources, I'm going to do the exact same thing, just to be honest with you.
It all makes sense, Willie. It's all good stuff. It all makes sense for sure, 100%. You want 100% reliability, and you want something to work as they promoted it, then use the product they want. If you don't want to and you want to tinker with stuff, then you take your own gamble.
The thing is, I worked in an environment where too many vendors are taking advantage of that, because it also holds you back from buying better equipment. Because what if you want better hard drives than the one they're locking you into? I use Sigma NAS, which is an offshoot from one of the free ones, and I'm able to put the top end Seagate NAS drives in there.
Sure.
And I can change it any way I want now. I'm upgrading that. Talk about projects. I'm going to be making a rack-mounted version of it now. And that's my big project I can now go ahead with now that I've taken apart my daily driver, because there's a couple of pieces in there that I needed. But I don't like being locked in. I mean, I still remember the nightmares and the battles I had with NCR when I was a manager of a development team for a bank in New York. They just took advantage of you left, right, and sideways. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
How many of us here support white box servers for your clients? Willie, or not Willie, Unky, that's not fair.
So, hey guys, let's get back. We could probably go on have these conversations for hours. Let's get back into round two and show the round two gifts. And we'll pick up with some more conversation after that. Gareth, thank you for the reminder. Yes, all the links will be down to all the products will be down in the show notes after the stream has ended and been actually the recorded version published to YouTube. And Avi from the Tech Me Out channel, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Okay, UnkyJoe, you're up.
All right. So when I was a youngin', we didn't have these fancy cell phones. Anyway, and I hate seeing kids walk around with these things in their faces constantly. So if you got a kid that is technically inclined or that is interested in computers and electronics, I think I have a great gift for you. If you remember Radio Shack back in the day, they made these all-in-one electronic kits where you could basically build radio circuits, amplifier circuits, whatever. Well, they still have those around, and they're great. They're great things for kids. They're great gifts for kids. Let me figure out if the old man can figure out how to share his screen, and I'll show you what it is I'm talking about. Okay, can we see that? Okay, there's two levels of this kit. Now, and this is Arduino compatible. They have a little Arduino board, but you can make all these different projects with these kits. There's two of them. There's a $40 kit for the king of cheap folks like me, and then there's the $65 kit. And you can build thousands of projects, hundreds if not thousands of projects with these devices. And it's much better than handing one of the small ones one of these things to distract them with, because with this thing they can actually learn logic circuits and amplifier circuits and programming and whatever else they're going to need moving forward in their life. And I just think it's a great way. And you can spend time with your kids or your nieces or your nephews building these projects with them. Get them interested in something other than these damn devices we shove them in front of, including the television. So this is my second choice. Again, it's got an entry-level product for about $40. One for $66. It's money well spent. It will reap rewards with these kids. I was given something like this as a kid, and look where I am now. Well, okay, maybe that's not such a good example, but I think you get where I'm going.
It doesn't look like an abacus.
Right. Shut up, Willie. Not that old. So anyway, that's
cool.
That's my other choice for a gift idea for the youngins.
That's awesome. Thanks, UnkyJoe. Jason?
I'm going to do another true cable tool, the other tool that I use a lot. So I'll share mine. Share this one. This tool I like. I've used many different brands of pass-through connectors through this, and so far this is the only tool that I could find that actually works really well with it. One crimp, you don't even have to push the cable in all the way. It actually cuts it real clear. And I mean, this is next to my wire stripper. Those are the two tools that I use probably 3 times a day when I'm concealing wires and doing stuff for customers. So this tool right here, it is a little bit expensive. It is heavy in its duty. I think QuickTech, you've used it too, and it's actually a really nice, handy tool. So for the $56 that it is, very well worth it.
That looks exactly like the Klein Tools one, but it has a much more appealing price tag.
Yes, I believe it's probably looks like the same die. Now, I've seen multiple ones of it, and I wish they actually had a cutting tool in it, because you have to have 3 tools now to do an RJ45 crimp, because this doesn't cut your wires flush or anything like that. So there's more steps, but it actually does one good crimp, so you don't have to do it a couple times.
Yeah, the one I have is very similar to that. It's from the other side of the world somewhere, but
yeah, Klein's yellow, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I'm still using, I got my eyes on this one. I actually haven't used this one, Jason. I got my eyes on it though, because I was thinking about doing a comparison between this one. I'm still using the Ideal.
I have the Ideal one, that the blue handled one, but the blades for those are $70. They sent me an extra blade when I bought this one to put into my bag, but I believe the blades for these are, I think we have to go back to tools, like $8, I think.
Oh wow.
$7.99 for just the blade, and it's a pretty sharp blade, so I haven't had to replace mine after 6 months. But I mean, the other one, that for the other tool that we had, it was like $70 for 3 blades, and I was like, I could buy the whole brand new tool for the same amount of price.
Yeah. Willie, what are you using, Willie? You still using that Ideal, or?
I use the Ideal, and I have the Klein, but the Ideal is my favorite. And I've never seen the blade cost $70, so I'm going to have to look into that. But
this one right here, Amazon.
Let me grab my tool bag real quick.
Cat 5 crimper. Or I'm not used to looking at this way. So this tool right here is the one that I used to have.
Right.
And when you buy the blades for these, the tool was $110 for the tool. But when you buy the replacement blades for these, it's like $70. And I got discouraged using it. I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for the blade, because there's 2 up here, there's 1 right here, and then there's another one on the other side, and it's just too much money.
Yeah, I think the Ideal crimper that Willie and I are using are different.
Yeah,
because I have 2 spare blades for that in my bag, and I don't remember. I probably wouldn't have bought them if they were that much.
Which one do you guys use?
Let's see if I can find it. I'll bring it up. Hold on.
I think it's Ideal.
mine's lost in my bag. Hold on.
I'm a little old school. I use scissors, a pocket knife, and a sledgehammer. And
You're cheap.
it works every damn time. You just beat the hell out of it till it fits.
Yeah, so here's the FT45 is the one that I use.
Yep.
And it's so simple that you can't mess it up.
Is that the Ideal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one I have.
And then I will tell you, I've had this. I was introduced to this back in the 90s. We were talking about those cable strippers earlier. I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is also an Ideal tool, but it's just got a blade on each side.
Yeah.
And it looks like a clothespin. I love this thing. Now this was like $40.
See, in Canada here, how much do you pay for your tool? And down in the United States there, Willie?
Ideal sent me this for free.
This is $80 Canadian.
That's crazy.
I know.
But you guys have Crown Royal up there, so I don't feel sorry for you.
If you give me your address, I'll ship you a bottle.
There's something up there. They call it the Canadian Blantons, but I think it's Caribou something or other.
I'll send you something there, Willie. Don't worry about that.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Jason.
No problem.
Let's see. Let's go in order from what I see on my screen. David, why don't we have you come up this time? What you got for your second round, Dave?
Sure. Let me share my screen again here. I'll switch cameras actually.
David's fancy. He switches cameras. The rest of us just screen share.
Okay, what I got here is for anybody who likes to do opening sections of their videos where they want to demonstrate, display something. So this thing comes with the power adapter. You turn it on, it comes off. It comes with a remote control. Let me put something on it so you can see what it does. Just turns it around. You can have it set so that you could change it to 90 degrees, 180 degrees. Right now, I think this is 91, right? So it goes back and forth 90 degrees. You got 180 also.
I gotta say, your top-down camera looks fantastic.
That's a Sony ZV-1. So it's a pretty good camera.
You know how
But
handy this thing would be for Thanksgiving dinner? You just put the turkey.
I
on it.
went to
okay,
the stationery store and I bought this fiber pad stuff, and I made it so that it's bigger, so that I can put like a white blanket underneath it, and you can't see it when you put it on the camera, or I could do it in black. So these are my custom add-ons to it.
Very nice.
Cost about $250 a piece.
How do you
Very
hide
cool.
the cord? I'll have to go back and look at your videos, but what's your secret?
Well, I have this thing here. Where do I have it handy? I have a piece of whiteboard that I just lay down there, or blackboard. On one side I have black, one side I have white, and I just lay that down on the side here to cover the cord.
Very nice.
And with this on, of course, a lot of it is already covered. Just got the cover up to here, right?
I think that would be great for the mashed potatoes.
So very cool.
You can make it do steps. You can do all kinds of stuff, with it. So I think it's a handy little thing. It costs about $55 is what I see on Amazon right now. I think I got it a little cheaper than that originally.
Do you do
That's
a
pretty awesome.
lot of product reviews, I take it?
Well, I do them. I get a lot of products sent to me, small products, and it comes out handy when I'm trying to make a nice entry to my videos, right? So that I found that trying to do it other ways was a lot more work. It was easier for me to just, I happened to do a quick search and I found this on Amazon and bought it, and I've been using it ever since. But you said you can use it for a lot of other things. If you want to display something, you own a store. I think in the ad here, they got pictures of like a jewelry store, putting it inside their glass cabinets, right? They also sell a black version of it as well if you wanted to. So it comes in white or black. From JAYEGT, JAYECT, motorized rotating display stand. That's mine.
Oops.
I was wondering. I thought maybe my sound was off for a second.
No, I muted my mic, so when I took a drink, you didn't hear me slurping. Thanks, David. Oh, good, because all. No. Jeremy, what you got for us on round two?
All right, so I went a little more expensive this time around, and I'll share my screen again. And this is the Nexigo Iris. It's a 4K webcam, which is actually what you're looking at me on right now, or before I switch to my screen. It is kind of pricey, but I have seen a couple sales on it recently. I almost picked up a second one, and depending on what kind of sale they run, I may pick up a second one during Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. The one caveat I will say is when I plugged it into the ATEM Mini Pro on the first port, I got the wonderful pink and green effect. But plugged into port 2, it looks fine. So if you're using the ATEM products, be aware that there is a potential issue there. It could just be my setup. I haven't got all the troubleshooting I want to do done yet, but it's been a rock solid camera so far, and I've got a lot of compliments on how my videos look since I started using this. So that's my second pick there.
Very cool. Jeremy, don't spend any more time troubleshooting that port 1 issue. It's a known fact that the ATEM port number 1 is optimized for gaming, to plug into a high-end computer for gamers. They tell you actually don't plug your main camera into port 1.
Gotcha.
So save yourself some troubleshooting.
I thought I had read that somewhere, but I wasn't completely sure, and given the places that I found some of the information, I wanted to get it from at least one additional source before I gave up on it.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You mean there's bad information on the internet? Who knew that?
So, and you how long have you had that camera, Jeremy?
Month and a half, somewhere in that area. Maybe it's getting close to 2 months now.
Yeah, and you love it, and David has it. You guys both are happy with it?
Very.
Yeah, I use it all the time when I'm doing something like this.
Very cool. Very cool. TVJAY, what you got? Round 2. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, well, I since we're talking about cables and whatnot, I actually have for my next one a cable tester that I'm actually in the market for. I already have one of these, but I'd probably be buying a second one. This is a all-in-one, well, I should say 8-in-1, I guess, cable tester for audio. And since I do a lot of audio video work, this has come in handy several times in trying to figure out why certain cables just don't work the way you want them to work. It also generates tone, which is helpful when you're out setting up a live shot or set up a event, or if you're in your podcast studio and you want to test something out, you can use this to generate tone. So like I said, I already own one of these, and I'm going to probably be buying a second one here soon.
Very cool.
That's a nice looking tool there, TVJ. I like that.
Yeah, it's solidly built. It's $35, but it seems like it's pretty solid. So you could probably toss it in your bag and it wouldn't break, too often. I mean, that's because that's the problem you have with testing gear. Sometimes the tester gear is sensitive or it's not built well. You throw it in your bag, you get somewhere, and next thing you know, it's broke. I just found this on a gig I just did recently. My little screwdriver set that I have, all the micro screwdrivers, came undone in my bag, and they were all at the bottom of the bag in pieces because the tool, like the screwdriver lid, somehow came off while in the bag. And so tool quality, the construction of it's important too when you're doing stuff like that.
You might want to put that little black tool that you're going to buy there, the cable tester, in like a little mini Pelican case kind of thing.
And the Pelican case probably will cost more than the tool does.
That's cool. Willie, you got a round 2 for us?
I sure do. Let me see if my computer is going to blow up here.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Hold on 1 second. Let me get it up there. Let me get it on the screen.
All right. Perfect. So, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, I invested in one of these to buy, you can use sure, there's 1,000 drywallers that have 1,000 quick tips about cutting,
this thing.
holes in, but I'll tell you what, the Qubit right here. In fact, when I bought my Qubit, I think it was like $80 or $90. But this goes on your multi-tool. And so obviously I have the Ryobi multi-tool, and this will cut a perfect gang box. And, I always make sure that I'm level. And when you go in, it takes all the guesswork out of it, makes a nice clean cut. And This is another tool that when I did a video on it, it was about 50-50. Got a lot of hate, but a lot of people love it. I'm going to keep using it just because it's so damn easy and so clean, and I don't have to worry about, you know, a drywall saw. You know how many drywall saws I find inside of ceilings and in walls? It's hilarious. But I've never found a Qubit because I would I would sure be ecstatic if I found one of these. But yeah, this is great. If you haven't check this out, they also make a double gang right here, and then looks like there's now probably some knockoffs that have come along. So yeah, by GSM. I haven't seen that one. I always use the name brand Qubit, but it looks like you can get a bigger kit for about $30. I don't know if I mean, it might be worth, if you've never done it, trying it out for that price. But yeah, I can't recommend a tool much more than I can recommend this, especially if you do a lot of single gang, double gang installs in drywall.
Yeah, I bought one of these
I'm gonna buy
years
one.
ago, and they're worth every penny. And we're getting ready to do another large remodeling job here in February, so I'll put it to good use again. And that vibrating tool, that's the best damn saw ever made. I don't know who figured that thing up.
Yep.
The vibratory saw, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
it's
what
a
they
good
cut
idea.
if you ever take one of those blades, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but you can take one of those blades and put it on your skin, and it won't cut your skin, but you can then take it and put it on a piece of wood and it'll cut the wood.
I'll take your word for it, Willie.
Yeah, I'm not
because
gonna try
I know how you like to mess with people sometimes. So I'm not. Anybody else care to try that? No.
I've been eyeing that one up, Willie, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I do have a small template that cuts the one gang with the level on it and stuff like that, but I still then have to go with the multi-tool and make sure I cut on the, you know, outside of the line. Otherwise, I always have to go in there and do some fine shaving to get the box to fit. But my question to you is that's universal, that tool? Will it fit, will it fit in Milwaukee?
Yes, it'll fit on any of those multi-tools.
Very cool. Awesome.
Or any, I guess it's called an oscillating tool, right?
Yep, correct.
Now they also make a thing that you can put on the box. It's a clip that has a magnet on it, so that when you're actually drywalling, then you can just take this other magnet that goes on the outside to identify where your box is behind the drywall, and then you just take the Qubit and you go right on that mark. I think it's like $30 or $40. If I can remember it, I'll send you the link to it, Tony. You can put it in the show notes.
Appreciate it. All right, my second round. Let me bring this up and then switch. My second round is a real basic, simple, practical tool. It's a a flashlight that you put on your waist. It's got a magnetic clip on the back. $25. This thing is 500 lumens. You can press and hold to dim or make it brighter. Comes in black, silver, and red, as you see here. Let me see if I can switch to my overhead just to kind of give you a size. There we go. So you can see how it fits in the palm of my hand. Very, very tiny. Button on the back. I'll just press it so you can hold. You really can't see it dimming and stuff like that. But anyway, shut that off. On the back, you got a magnet. So if you're working in a rack, you can just boom, clip it to the side of the rack if you need quick light. Belt clip. And also it's got a hook on it. So if you're working in an area where you can just need to hang it on something, if you don't have something magnetic to clip it on, just a very practical. I mean, comes in handy. I use it all the time. It's a great stocking stuffer as well. So let me just get out of here. And that's my second tool.
Sorry, Tony, I missed that. I was just watching a YouTube video up of that Qubit. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna go buy one of those because I have a drywall project going on downstairs in like a week, and that is super cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I got my eye on that Qubit as well.
I never seen such a tool. That's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna swing through the comments again. I'm sorry we're not getting to address each and every comment. There's just so many of them. But I'm just going to at least pop them up on the screen. Anybody else while I'm doing that want to share a current project? Actually, I have a question for Jeremy. Jeremy, the marina project that you were working on with that with the Wi-Fi. How's that going? Can you give us an update on that? Or tell us
It was a
little bit about it?
campsite, and
Okay.
yeah, I had we got the products in, and it solved the issue. So we ended up, I believe it's an ingenious outdoor access point we used for that. But since I was not available, I had a friend of mine, actually a former student of mine, go out and do the remainder of the install on it, and the campground owner was very happy because now she's got signal in her cabin and not just down at her office where she spends most of her time. And then some of the campers use some of that equipment as well. So definitely addressed an issue that they had, and they seem to be happy with it.
Very cool. Anybody else got something interesting project going on? I know, Willie, you said you were going to be deploying what, 3 networks in this coming?
Yeah, so it's for a medical firm out in California, and they actually reached out to us because they were having problems with their GrandStream phone system, and then come to find out, their IT person hadn't done any upgrades of. So like at 2 of the sites, they're just using Comcast's router modem combination thing, and then at the other one they've got this home router, and so we're putting in the GrandStream, the GWN 7062 as the router with GWN 7664 APs. And then because the GrandStream switches aren't available yet, we're putting in TP-Link switches at each. So I've got to get all that tuned up, and it's pretty exciting. So they hired a new IT person, and I actually emailed the COO, and I was like, hey, I know, like, we uncovered a bunch of stuff. This person didn't leave because of us, did she? And they're like, no. Like, this person was on their way out. And I'm like, because I hate to be that guy. And met the new IT fella, and he's raring to go. So we got to get him some product in his hand. And if you haven't, I think you've checked out that 7062, haven't you?
Yes. Yep.
Are you pretty happy with it?
So
If
far,
you're not,
yeah.
if you're not, don't say anything.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I've done 1 or 2 videos on it. I think I want to do my next video on it, pairing it with, I still have the 7660 sitting in the box that I have to do a video on. So I might just attach it and pair it to the 7062 and do a video on that.
And you can adopt these, by the way, into GWN.cloud. So if you haven't done that yet,
I got the
available.
7662. I just haven't used it yet.
Which one's the 7662? Is that the in-wall? Oh no, it's a puck.
It's the ceiling mount one, but I also have this guy. I also have the outdoor one too, which is the 7660 LR.
Yeah, that's a good piece of kit. That's what's out in my garage.
This works really, 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 really well.
Yeah, they're coming in strong. So the first meeting I had with this new IT guy, he's like, I knew GrandStream made phones, but I didn't know that they made gear. He's like, I'm used to, Palo Alto. And then I just started hearing the cash register going in the background, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, we did an assessment, and, you didn't really need that, so we'll get them tuned up. But
I put the LR in my window here, Willie, and my phone that I got, I went across the street and down the street because there's a street behind me here, and I was still able to use this Wi-Fi phone on that down the street talking on it.
Yeah. Voice is it's not as resilient as I'd like it to be, obviously, because it's a real-time communication, but 150 milliseconds of jitter or of lag is what you can have and still have somewhat intelligible conversation. So, and if you haven't tried it, just try this just for yourself. Take a Ubiquiti access point, plug it in, configure it. I don't care. Factory default it, adopt it in, default settings. Do the same thing with the Grand Stream after you're done with this. But take your phone, Jason, and put it on there and walk around, and then do the same thing with the Grand Stream, and you'll notice a difference in the quality of the voice, how far away you can go from the access point, and the whole bit. Those Grand Stream APs, you can go in and you can turn on enterprise voice, which enables all of the roaming options and QoS, and the Ubiquiti access points they just can't do that.
I can't put anything Unify in my house, though. I'm sorry.
We just had that exact conversation with the client. We just finished cabling. We did all the low voltage cabling on a 6,000 square foot custom home, and the owner came in while we were working, and he had a couple of questions, and he was like, Unify, what do you recommend for why, so like we talked about his needs and stuff like that. And I was telling him how I have the Grand Stream access points in my home here and how I had Unify in my last home. And he's like, well, why did you switch? This, that, and the... So anyway, we got into the whole conversation of the optimization for voice, that, how they were originally just a telco products, and that they got into networking, and that if you think you're going to be doing VoIP over Wi-Fi, then let's go this route. If that's not, then we can go this route with Unify if you want to stay in the same pane of glass. And so we had that whole conversation. He was like, oh, I didn't realize that. So like people aren't aware unless, we're out there just like.
The Grand Stream access points are really, really, really nice. They mount very nice too. And their cloud portal is just amazing. Like if you've never used it before, you could walk through it and you don't have to be very up on all the terms and stuff. And it's there. It makes very good sense. And I'm surprised that I don't see more of it out there.
And the other thing I like too with them, and then we'll get off the Grand Stream bandwagon, but the other thing I like about them, I can't speak for the 7660 because I haven't opened that box yet, but all the other ones, they're pretty much the same mounting bracket because they're virtually the same size.
Exactly.
7660 is smaller, which is kind of nice that they actually took that form factor that they use and they've shrunk it down, because originally that was one of the pet peeves my wife had when I told her we were going from the Unify to the Grand Stream was the bulkiness and the size, in a residential home. But when I saw the 7660, I was like, okay, now that's cool. They kept the design. They just took it and so, but I imagine that's a different bracket because of the difference in the diameter. But the larger ones, you could pull 7615 down and pop up a 7630. And so.
Same thing with the 7664, and I don't have their in-wall AP. But it's I can't imagine that it's much different as far as the interface. They're good about keeping that same user experience. But if your wife is concerned about that, or if anybody's spouse or significant other is concerned about that, in-wall APs, have come down to a price where, you can tuck them in every other room, or, and get really good coverage.
Right. Hey, welcome Mac Telecom. Cody, thanks for joining. Let's see. So many comments. I don't even know where I left off, but anyway, guys, we're going for.
Do you think you could cover a whole house with in-wall? I mean, would you do a whole house? Like, how many houses? Yeah, sorry. How many in-wall units would you need to cover like an average size house? Do you think? Did you do away with one or two?
It's going to depend on what kind of insulation and stuff you got in your walls. So we got 2,700 square feet. There's 3 bedrooms on the main floor, 2 bedrooms on the bottom floor. I would, just off the top of my head, knowing my house and composition and everything, I could probably get away with covering the whole thing and tune it and get fantastic roaming, probably 4 APs.
Curious. I was curious. I see those things. I often wonder if they work or not. I have a Unify access point right up here, and it covers. This is the corner of my house, and it covers the entire house and half the neighborhood on the street.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you need to tune that a little bit more, TVJAY. You got to turn the power down on that.
I probably should actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, we anytime we do a hotel bid, I mean, we always bid in walls. And depending on the age of the hotel, we'll bid MikroTik. in walls because they have an RJ11 pass through. If you haven't seen that, and so then we don't necessarily have to cut a new gang box. You know, we're just replacing what's there. But you know, you can really start. And actually, some hotels, depending on how many stars they are, they actually have it in their you know, operations manual where every room has to have an in-wall AP.
Oh, very cool. All right. We've been going for about almost an hour and a half. Let's go through round 3 if you guys want to keep going. But we went through the second round pretty quickly, so that's pretty cool. And then we can go through round 3 and kind of get things wrapped up.
Hey, real quick, Tony and fellas, it's been an honor being here with all of you today, and I am now subscribed to everybody here, and looking forward to going through the videos. I have to hop off, so I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the stream, and I will talk to you all later.
Cool. Thank you for joining, Willie.
See
Appreciate
you,
it.
Willie.
See you later, Willie.
Awesome. All right. UnkyJoe, what you got? Last and final round.
All right. Well, and I'm like Willie, I'm going to have to go after this. I hate to bail so soon, but I've got some plans later this afternoon. Lowe's, basically. So I don't want to get through before they close. I changed up my last item because I was originally going to talk about a toolkit, but I'd rather talk about a powered USB 3 hub. So let me bring that up here on the screen. I use this. I own it. I love it. It's cheap, and me being the king of cheap, I just love it. It's a powered USB hub, and each hub you can turn the power on or off to each hub. I found out it solved all my problems I was having with USB devices to go to a powered hub. And the other beautiful thing is, if you look at the end of it here, you also have a charging port dedicated for like your phone or a tablet device that puts through a little bit higher current, and it has the wall wart, so it's not drawing power off your USB off your computer. I was a little hesitant to spend the money on this. I bought it on my birthday this year, and I thought $21.59, it was too good to be true. It isn't. And you can see it's got about almost 18,000 ratings, 4.5 stars. I love it. I get it Velcroed to my desk. I use it daily, and can't say enough good things about it. So normally I use Anker products exclusively, but this one was I was poor at the time I bought this, and it was at the right price point.
How long is the cable that comes with it?
That's a good question. Let's see,
Because we actually need some. I need one for work, and I need one for my desk, and the length is going to be an issue. It's got to be at least 6 foot. So I'm hoping
Let's see, 100 centimeters.
Jason, what is that?
I don't know, but I'll look. I have something very similar to that, and I got one. It's right underneath my monitor right here, and it came with a 1 meter cable.
I thought Canada used centimeters. That was just a joke.
I just use Google, and it tells me what those dimensions are.
Right? Yeah, centimeters to inches. Yeah. Let's see. I'll do it for you.
100 centimeters? Holy, hold on.
That would be 39.3701 inches.
Oh, I grabbed the inch tape measure, so I don't know.
3 feet.
UnkyJoe beat me.
But you know, I would imagine you could use an extension on there. You should be fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was a little wary of it. You know, some of these USB hubs you get, these cheap knockoff hubs, are not very well made. This one is very well made. Hasn't let me down.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Jason, what you got? Round 3.
I got nothing.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I'm all out. I don't know.
No
I don't know what else I can recommend.
No worries. What you got, Jeremy? You got anything? Round 3.
Oh yes. So I did the inexpensive and more expensive type of thing with my picks. So this is, and I don't have this exact unit, but this is a B-Link mini PC with a Ryzen 9 5900HX in it. And yes, it's more pricey than everything else on the list combined, but I've got the GTR 7 with the 3550, I believe is the Ryzen chip in it, and it's just a sweet little machine. It's very quiet. I actually got rid of Windows 11 on it and put Pop OS on it, and I use it with Steam to do some light gaming on it. So these little mini PCs have come a long way, and B-Link might be a brand a lot of people haven't heard of yet, but based on the one that I bought about a year ago, I actually we bought several for use at the library where I work during the day, and I've been very impressed with the brand. So that's my final pick if you've got deeper pockets at holiday time.
Nice. What are you using it? What's the use case at the library? Like how do you have them deployed? For what reason?
We are using them for the public PCs,
Okay.
which people use just basically for office type applications, web browsing, and whatnot. And we went with the i5 version for that, for the adult computers, which is what we're rolling out this year, and for the two behind the front desk at the library. We're going to do the youth PCs next year, and I will probably go with a Ryzen 5 model, whatever is available at that time, to give a little extra bump in graphics power, because the kids come in and they want to play Roblox and whatever else early teens are into these days.
Cool. Thanks so much.
What's
David.
the cooling like on that Ryzen 9? Doesn't that thing get hot?
It's got some pretty beefy heat sinks in there, believe it or not.
Huh.
So and they're the mobile versions of the
Okay.
chips.
That makes sense.
They're basically taking laptop parts and cramming them into a case, kind of like the Intel NUC.
Very cool. Thank you, Jeremy. David, what you got?
Okay,
Round
well,
three.
my third one here is a heat imaging camera. I was shopping around for this for quite a while before I got something that was within my price range. I got the cheapest one of 3 models that they sell. This one has a very low resolution. That's the only problem with it. So what's nice about it, let me swing my camera around, and you can see as I look at my other camera. Let's see if I can get this thing to see it. I don't have a camera facing at the other camera, so I have to sort of jury rig things here a little bit. So if I come over here and I show the other camera, you can see the hot spots on the camera, but it's kind of crude unless you go to the other mode. In the other mode, if I switch up arrow, it actually creates a highlight around the object. So you can see the camera itself. Obviously, you see the little LCD display as the hotspot. If I go up even higher, a different mode, now you see a semi-view of it, as if this thing is actually looking at it as a camera. And then it has a 4th mode where it just looks at it as a camera. So I thought that was nifty. I'm going to use it when I do heat testing on certain devices. And it actually, does pretty well in terms of looking at thermal imaging. It also comes with a little 16 gigabyte SD card. It does video, it does still shots. That came with it. I didn't have to buy it. It's rechargeable batteries. And this particular one came out to $177. If you want one that's like twice the resolution, that's for $300. And one that's like 4 times the resolution, that's like $400. And so future reviews that I do, especially PC related, I'm going to go ahead and use this camera to get myself some good imaging of where the heat is. You could also, they advertise it in Amazon. They advertise it as being used to find, you know, leaks of heat in your house or hot spots in your home as well. So if I was going to do that though professionally, I'd get a better resolution one. But I thought this was good. It was at a good price.
Thank you. Very cool. That's an interesting device for sure. Does anyone else have one of those or a use case for one of those? Or?
I used to have something similar to that when I was building amplifiers and stuff like that, see where all the current was going in my power supplies and stuff, but I gave it away.
Thank you, David. TVJAY, what you got for us? Round 3. We're almost done.
So I went simple for this one. This is just a battery organizer that I bought last year for my father-in-law, and I'm going to probably buy again, just because it's nice to have your batteries organized in one place. And in this particular set, you can get 2 for $40, which means you can keep one and give one away. So this would be a nice little gift. In the trailer, you know, project that I'll probably be doing next year, we're gonna need some place to store batteries. So I was actually thinking about looking at one of these, getting a couple of these, and just have them in the trailer so we can have batteries ready to go, and we're not always hunting and pecking for stuff, because that always leads to, you know, time wasted. And this way you can look at it and say, oh, I have enough batteries for this remote, or I have enough batteries for this job, or you can look at it and go, I need to replenish my stock. So I thought it was a good idea to have a battery organizer, and this way you can get 2 for $40.
Very cool. And that's a very practical gift. So thank you, Jay. All right. My last and final is one of my favorites, and I actually own this. Let me bring it. Let me go full screen. It is the Bose SoundLink Flex Bluetooth portable speaker camera. This is an awesome sound. I mean, it packs a beautiful sound. It packs so much bass. We use it. We take it with us everywhere we go. We set out back. It's IP67 rated waterproof. They actually say that you can submerge it to about 3 feet for approximately 30 minutes or so, and it would be fine, but I'm not about to test that. I will say we do use it outside in the back when we put it on the ledge at a hot tub, and it does get misted on and stuff like that, and it's fine, but I'm not going to do the 3 feet submerge test anytime soon. But it's a great little unit. It's, like I said, it's portable, it's rugged, it just sounds fantastic. Let me just quickly switch over to my overhead cam. You can actually see the actual size of it. So there it is in the palm of my hand. It's got a little carry strap on the side, and then on/off button, volume down, volume up, start music, stop music, and then your Bluetooth pairing button. So again, very versatile, very rugged, sounds fantastic. It's an excellent gift for the price point, and that's probably one of my favorite gifts that I've actually gotten in this past year. So, yep. And that's my final. Let me just bring us all back. Yeah, and that's my final gift of the day. So, and that covers all of the gifts. Again, everything will be down in the show notes after the stream ends, all the links to all of the products that were shown today, all the links to all of the creators that joined me here today. I already put in the chat. I'll also include them down in the show notes. Thank you all, guys, for doing this with me. I had a good time. I thought it was a neat thing to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully maybe we can come together and do it again and get into just the general tech conversation on stuff, because it seems like we have a a knack for wanting to do that, and we should just do a stream just on that, kind of see where it goes.
The gadgets never end.
Yeah, no, it's like, but that's good. I mean, you know what? It's all in good fun. Thank UnkyJoe and Willie for joining us. That was special. What's the dog's name, Jason?
Take a guess.
Jason.
No.
No.
Tesla.
Tesla. Okay.
My wife just brought me lunch, so she's on my lap. She sees food, so now she wants it.
No worries. Anybody have anything else? You got any upcoming videos to keep an eye out for? David, you want to show that? That's fine.
Sure. Yeah. This is the other one that I brought. This is something I don't go outside without it anymore. This is not my Zehan gimbal. It's actually the second one that I bought from this company. The first one was actually a gift, but it is amazing how nice this is and how easy it is to level it and how convenient it is. It's very light. This particular model has a lot of extras to it, so it's a more expensive one, including the ability to put a little Bluetooth connector onto the camera to control it with some of these buttons, like the record and things like that. It also has a thing on it that supports a microphone. Comes with the kit. I'm not going to take it out right now. I just wanted to show this particular model with all the doohickeys and gadgets that I got with it. Costs about $500, but you can get it for as low as about $330 if you just want the basic unit. So I just wanted to show that. Like I said, I don't go outside without it right now when I'm doing videos. Makes it so much easier not to worry about my shaking hands. I drink so much coffee. I got to compensate for that.
And David, did you send me a link for that?
I believe I did. No?
All right. I'll check the email. I'll include that in the show notes as well. Yeah, that's it. I mean, Jason, TVJAY, you're streaming hopefully tomorrow night.
Hopefully.
We're gonna see Jeremy next Sunday.
I'll be there, Jay.
And David, when any idea when you're going to be getting back into the swing
my
of streaming?
goal is by the end of the month. I plan on having everything fixed during the Thanksgiving holiday.
Cool.
I may do a couple of test ones along the way.
Awesome. Jason, any word from Grandstream on that unit we're expecting?
No, I haven't. I sent him a message, but as we both realize that he's pretty distant from his email. He's pretty out doing things. So I haven't heard anything back, but I really want to do that video.
Yeah. So that's something that, is upcoming for both of us. He's going to hopefully get the 7062. I already have it, and we talked about doing a site-to-site between locations, cool, setting that up. So that's hopefully on the horizon. Anybody else, any upcoming videos worth noting?
I'm doing version 2 of my OpenSense with my sponsored piece of software in there.
Very cool.
I'm going to be redoing my whole network rack probably by the beginning of next month.
Nice. What switch did you decide on? I remember we were talking.
I bought the Unify 24 port PoE. It has both PoE plus and PoE plus plus.
Yeah.
And it has two 10 gig uplinks.
Okay. That's not the Enterprise. Did you buy the Enterprise or just the regular Gen 2?
It's a Gen 2 professional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I have a busy week this week with productions, so I want to try to shoot some video. Hopefully, I have a zoo special and I have a parade this week, so should be interesting.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to your stream tomorrow night. Whatever the topic may be, I'll be there.
Well, I'm a little confused because if you saw I sent Tony a poll. I did a poll on my channel, and I said, what topics do you want to see covered? And was it 7-2, like more IT stuff? And I'm like, my channel's not an IT channel, so I thought that was kind of interesting that people want to see more IT stuff. But I do have to do Rivendell stuff, so I may do a Rivendell video. I have to figure out a backup solution. So I may do a backup solution video just to do it live and see if we can figure out a cool backup solution for me. I don't know.
Okay. By the way, Jeremy, I do love that Midnight Commander. That is
awesome.
That is awesome. I'm surprised I've never come across it because it's been around forever. And until you mentioned it in your stream, I was like, oh, I got to check that. It's awesome. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's been around for a good long time, and I've used it on and off a lot over the years on different systems.
Yeah, cool. What do you got down the pike for videos, Jer? And then we're gonna kind of wrap this up.
The next thing that I want to be working on, I've got this Windows Server 2022 series that's going to be sort of a sporadic thing, but I've had a lot of requests lately for updated fog videos for imaging computers.
Cool.
So I've been reluctant to do it because the software has not been updated as frequently as it used to be. So you've got to download the development version from GitHub and do some things to it to get it to go. But it's still pretty widely used in education environments and other places with small budgets.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. I hope, seems like everybody enjoyed it. They stuck around for most of the stream. I want to thank you all. Enjoy the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday if you observe, and I look forward to your upcoming videos and your upcoming streams. So on that note, I'm going to say thanks for joining me. I'm going to thank everybody out there for joining us today. Hope they enjoyed it. Hope you all enjoyed it. And like I say at the end of every video, my name's Tony with Quick Tech Solutions. That's Jason, that's David, that's TVJAY, and that's Jeremy Leik. Until next time, have a good one.
Thank you for having us all there.
Yes, thank you.
Bye,
Have a great
guys.
night.
Appreciate it.
Bye.